What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys have been having an awesome week. And guys, today we've got something very different on the channel. As you guys can see by the title of the video and of course the thumbnail, we've got 2 times 30 and 0 custom tactics and formation video brought to you by Goliath Gaming's professional FIFA player Julio the Beast Bianchi. Julio, welcome to the channel.
Thanks man, it's a huge honor and a huge privilege to be here today with you. Good friend of mine, and yeah, excited to help everyone out there maybe improve their game.
Definitely, we've been friends for quite a few years, and yeah, the friendship just keeps on growing. Look, we know what you're capable of. We've seen what you've done in previous FIFAs, but obviously, having come into this FIFA, you came out absolutely swinging. I mean, 2 times 30 and 0, 60 and 0 for the month, the only South African to have done so. Talk to us. How has weekend league been?
Yeah, to be honest man, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, lots of sweaty games. Remember all the Xbox guys, all the competitive players on the Xbox sides coming over to us. We already have a big pool of players that's quality. Like I said, sweaty games, players that's good. They are all looking to improve on a daily, which I know, and you can't afford to slack, especially at the level I want to be at or that I'm aiming to be at. So yeah, we need to continue working hard. You can't afford to miss any weekend leagues, can't afford to miss any games. So yeah, it's been tough 2 weeks, but I always challenge myself. I always say there's no shame in losing, but evidently the most important thing is to always win, and that's what I always strive to do. I always try to improve. I know someday I'll lose, but for now I've been doing well, and I'm looking to improve on that.
100%, no, definitely. And usually, like I always tell people that if you want to look at a mindset, never mind in the South African esports industry, in the international, in esports as a whole, Julio's definitely someone to look at, because if you look at the mindset and the sort of integrity that he goes with into every weekend league, never mind every weekend league, every competitive game, it's absolutely phenomenal. Now we're going to look at his team, that infamous, not infamous, the famous Paris FC, and we're going to look at that, and we look at his team and we see there's some meta players there. There's some absolutely powerful players, there's some absolutely phenomenal players there, but there's also some players there that you see that, perhaps do not go into the traditional team. So, Julio, talk to us. Who has been your top 2 players, your most consistent players over the course of the past 2 weekend leagues?
Yeah, so for me, best player has to be Ronaldo. Without a doubt, I like Mbappe, I like Neymar. They're good. Mbappe is consistent in front of goal. I haven't had any issues with him. He's quick. Neymar, I like as well. 5-star weak foot. He's good, agile, gets pushed off the ball now and then, but it's okay. But Ronaldo for me, consistent. I feel like whenever I'm in front of goal, whenever I'm in the box, left, right, in the air, can hold up the ball well, runs through defenders so quick. Yeah, and finishing wise, 9.5 times out of 10, it's a goal. So I know whenever I get the ball to him, it's definitely a goal. So for me, Cristiano Ronaldo number 1, and then secondly I have to go with surprisingly Varane. I say surprisingly because his agility and balance is very bad for a central defender in my opinion. I never used to be a fan of him in previous FIFAs, maybe FIFA 19 slightly, but not really a huge fan. I always liked Van Dijk in the previous FIFA, but for me this FIFA is just not my cup of tea. It's just not agile and quick enough. So for me, Rafa Varane has been complete for me at the back, as well as Joe Gomez has been good as well. Very OP player, but yeah, I'd say standout for me, Ronaldo and Varane.
And I think the importance there that Julio just highlighted, generally we tend to build our teams from the front, and sometimes, yes, rightfully so, but it just goes to show the importance of a defender and a player like Rafa Varane that Julio has just explained, the kind of impact that he has in the team. He's able to make those close tackles, he's able to make those last ditch tackle, is able to track back as well, hold off the striker. So I think someone like that to have in your team is very important. When you look at teams generally, right, and Julio and I were both speaking about this, you tend to use different formations. And Julio said that he uses 4-2-3-1 and 4-2-2. And so today we're going to jump into the 4-2-2 custom tactics with him. And if you guys enjoy this video, and if you guys also want to see the 4-2-3-1 custom tactics and formation, make sure to drop a comment down below. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, show your love and support for the channel, and hopefully we can bring that video to you. So we're going to jump into the tactics with Julio, as you guys can see on your screen. Julio, you've gone with balance there for defense. Talk to us about that.
I actually love that one. Yeah, so for me there's nothing special about tactics in terms of that. For me personally, that's how I see it. I always opt to go with balance. It gives you, like it says, a balanced way to attack and defend. It's that simple. If you put possession only, your players will be coming short. You'll have a slow Barcelona type build-up football type of style, which I don't normally do. I like to change my game depending on my opponent, depending on the game itself. You need to be able to analyze in game what your opponent is trying to do, or what you want to do, and how you're gonna attack and counter attack his style, depending on the game, like I said. So for me, balance gives me lots of ability, gives me lots of opportunity to attack the way I want and to defend the way I want. So yeah, balance has always worked for me, and I'm able to chop and change whenever I want to.
Now looking at your defensive style of 5 and 5 width and depth, I see you've gone quite balanced there, and usually we see a lot of people tend to go maybe 1 and 2 depths. Talk to us about why you've gone with 5 width and 5 depth. How important is playing that balanced depth of 5 for you?
And just to mention again, you mentioned drawback, which normally goes with 2 or 3 depth as well. People like to add that as well. For me, drawback puts you under a lot of pressure. For me, I don't play that way. I think it's good if you feel like you're not that good in defense, so be it, that's your style. But I just look at it from this perspective. Yes, you're defending. Yes, you're defending well, you're stopping all the attacks and that, but as soon as you win the ball, your team is so deep in your defensive third or your defensive half that as soon as someone switches on team press, or they on press after possession loss, or press on heavy touch, you don't know where you're going to pass to. The next pass you make might be to the guy standing right next to you, and before you know it, it's a goal for the opposition. You're playing drawback. There's no way you can attack. It's so slow. You're putting yourself under pressure, and especially with weekend league, it's quick. You tend to quickly lose your mind or lose focus, and as soon as you go a goal down, 2 goals down against a good player or someone that can play, it becomes a problem. So yeah, for me 5 depth works. I like to play higher up the pitch. I like to press, like you've seen when I played Tabo as well in the showcase match as well. It's not just in that game. I like to play high, put pressure on my opponent, try and win the ball in their half, and try and obviously capitalize. And I'm a guy that like to capitalize on defensive mistakes. You can't afford to make mistakes against me. I tend to score, and I tend to punish my opponent. So for me to go and play 2 depth, it just doesn't suit my style. I play a high press, counter attack. Like a Liverpool basically, like I've mentioned before as well. High press and high attacking type of style. So that's what I've always opted for, and that's what I always continue to do.
So Julio, you mentioned the importance of having a balanced depth and of having 5 depth specifically. How it helps when you attack and when you're transitioning into attack. And also with the lower depth, we said that if you are struggling with defending, then you could try and use a lower depth. It will help make defending a lot easier. But also there's a massive downside to this. When you play with a lower depth, your attacking options are cut down by a great amount. your transitioning into attack is made a lot harder because you don't have a lot of options when you win the ball back to go forward. Now, looking at your offensive style, I see you've gone with a 6. Talk to us why you've chosen 6 specifically.
Yeah. So I opted for. I've been playing around with 5 and 6, but yeah, with 4-2-2, obviously the team is quite narrow in attack, with the 2 cams and the 2 strikers as well. So I just opted for 7. So basically, when I attack, it's almost like a 4-4-2, if that makes sense, in terms of width. That's what I tend to go with. So if for instance, if I put a 3 or 4 width there, I wouldn't say it would be similar to a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but it would be quite narrow, and if someone blocks out the midfield, it would be difficult to attack because you don't have wingers. So with 7 width, it gives me that option almost like in a 4-4-2 with wingers. So that is where the versatility and that comes in.
And obviously we see now the balance in terms of the players in the box. I think we've got 5 there. And looking at the corners and the free kicks, I see you've gone with 2 as well. And I think the reason or the importance of playing with lower, like with 2 bars in those 2 aspects, is so that you don't get hit on the counter after a place kick. I think that's very important to take note as well. Now moving on to the instructions part of the video. Julio, talk us through your back line.
So yeah, starting from obviously the goalkeeper and the 2 centre backs I leave on default. It's nothing crazy about that. And then the 2 wing backs with Furlong Mondi and Nelson Semedo, I have on stay back while attacking. To be completely honest, I was thinking about actually leaving them on balance this FIFA. I'm a guy that would attack with my whole team, but yeah, it's too easy to get caught on the break on this FIFA, and yeah, can't risk that, especially not in weekend league and events coming. So I opted for stay back while attacking for the wing backs. So yeah, that's what I went with.
And that just goes to show that even like with Julio being an attacking high press player, the importance of not getting beaten on the break, having your fullbacks on stay back. And now Julio, talk to us about the CDMs and what you've done there.
So with Blanc and Renato Sanchez, I have the same for them. I both went with cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and as well as cover center. I was thinking about for them to cover wing would be a problem because it's so important for the 2 CDMs in a 4-2-2 to cover the striker, or if someone is playing with 2 strikers, you need those 2 CDMs covering the center to cut the passing lanes to the striker, which is very important obviously. So yeah, I opt to go with the cams or the wing backs to cover the wing, which is fine with me, but the 2 CDMs is very important to cut passing lanes and cover center. Sometimes I do switch depending on who's, in my opinion, who my most offensive player is of the 2 CDMs. I would sometimes leave them on balance, just one of them, to give me an extra option when going forward. So say for instance, a very good example, obviously it's still early stages in FIFA for us, but I know some people use Gullit 90, which is the perfect example. You would want him to be unbalanced because he has the ability to go forward and score goals. He has the ability to come back and defend. So sometimes an extra option would be to go on balance, but for now I have stay back while attacking for both my CDMs.
And obviously Julio is helping us out, and what he's giving to us here is his tactics and what he's used, and it's proven. But also remember that these tactics may not apply to you. By all means, please do try them because they are proven. But if they don't work for you, try and make a few adjustments, try and make a few tweaks here and there. Like for example, the CDMs, cut passing lanes, that's something that I probably am going to try and implement in my game. And also, you guys, with your 2 midfielders, if you have one attacking midfielder, then try him on balance, try and see, you may have that extra option going forward and you may actually enjoy it. Now, going on to your midfielders and then attackers, talk to us, Julio, what have you done with your Lamb and your Ram?
So two important things to notice from the two camps. For both of them, I have get into the box for cross. That is only one change I've made. And then the other thing people normally get stuck on is do they come back on defense, or do they stay on balance, or do they stay forward even? For me, I have them on balance because I like to attack with a lot of numbers. I don't want them to come back on defense and waste their energy. So for a good example, if you have say for instance a Messi in a number 10 role in the Ram or in the Lamb, or a Neymar, their stamina isn't that good to go up and down. Like I've mentioned with the Julio, who has fantastic stamina. He can go up and down for 90 minutes. Neymar and Messi, 60 minutes, 60, 70 minutes, they're tired. So I don't want them to really waste their energy on coming back on defense every single time, because I trust myself in defense. I know some people might differ and they feel, okay, I need some more bodies in defense, which is fine. Like you've mentioned before, everyone, you basically suit your own. It depends on your style, it depends on how confident you are in defense and how confident you are in attack. But just I went basic or balanced for the camps to give me an option in attack and to sometimes come and cover in defense if needed.
Now you mentioned the sorry about that. You mentioned the camps coming back on defense, and that's something that I like to use in my gameplay, because when I'm defending and I want to press the winger with my fullback, I like the cam to come back on defense so that he can also put that pressure from behind, so that obviously the guy just can't turn around easily and make the pass back. Now, also I think what's important to note, and what you have mentioned, is the cams getting tired, because I did notice that with Neymar that he does tend to get tired very quickly. So people should take note of your cam's stamina. Now looking at the strikers, Julio, talk to us about the strikers and why you've chosen those particular instructions.
Yeah, so two changes with the strikers for me. I have Mbappe and Ronaldo up top. So obviously there's space with these two guys. So what do I want from them? I want them to get in behind. I don't want them to be a target man. I don't want them to play a false nine. I don't want them to stay central even. That's why I leave the running unbalanced. I want them to sometimes go wide, sometimes stay central, depending on the situation. So I leave that unbalanced, but most importantly, get in behind and stay forward for me. I want my two strikers to stay forward, so when I do win the ball, I immediately have two options up top. And then, very importantly, it comes in mind again the two cams. I set balance for the cams. I don't want them to always come back. So when I do win the ball in the defensive half, I already have four options up top. But like I said, each one to their own, it suits your own style. But at least if you do put comeback on defense for the cams and you have stay forward for the two strikers, you know you at all times you have two outlets on top. So get in behind and stay forward, because I've also noticed with getting behind, the runs that the players make are much better and very effective this FIFA. So yeah, I don't want them to come short. I can manually trigger those things, or I can slow down my gameplay if I want to play short or a slow build up. But very important, Mbappe and Ronaldo get in behind and stay forward.
So guys, Julio mentioned the importance of the runs made in FIFA, and how important it is to have getting behind, because it adds to the strikers. They challenge the defenders more, in the sense that your opponent has to track the run and he has to watch when you run in behind. And another thing, I think what's important, that when you're playing with your cams on comeback on defense, you should try having your strikers on stay forward, because if you win the ball in the defensive half and your cams are busy helping you defend, then you need an exit point. You need to be able to get the ball forward. Otherwise, if you take too much time in your own half, you might be pressured into losing the ball. So those two strikers serve as sort of a safety net, so to say. It's your way out from the defense. You just clear the ball forward and you give it to them. And another thing also to touch on is that you should make sure that your cams have good passing stats, so that when you win the ball in the defensive half or in your half, you are able to transition the attack quickly and smoothly. If they don't have great passing stats, try adding a cam style that improves passing. And I think also having cams unbalanced might be something that's worth trying, because then they're not too forward, or they're not right at your box. They're in the right position to help the attack smooth out into transition. Guys, before we end the video, I just want to thank Julio so much for for joining us on the channel and for sharing his insight with everybody and with us, and hopefully we can use this to improve. Julio, thank you so much for joining us on the channel. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's been a huge honor for me as well to help you out and to hopefully get some more people improving their games. And like I've mentioned before, these things work for me, might not work for you, but you very much allowed to change it to your liking. You can tweak it and hopefully you find something that suits you well.
Okay guys, and that's it from us for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment down below if you want to see that new 4-2-3-1 formation sometime soon. But thank you guys so much for the support. Please share this video, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.